Hello. um, so 2 months no post. It feels really weird hearing my own voice because on the weekends I tend to not talk very much. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to film today just to kind of okay, well, first off, my hair is like being reckless. Like, what is this? Okay. Trying to hide it so that my hair looks a little more uniform, which like it's never gonna look uniform because that's how my hair works. But so today I wanted to talk about my horrific lack of an attention span and lack of being able to focus on important things. Really just anything. Um yeah. So, like, I've been wanting to study Korean, and I can speak a little bit of Korean, like, not very well, but just like enough to understand simple conversations and get my point across very, very simply using simple verbs. And, I recall that I was really, really into it around 2018, early 2019, after I graduated high school. I was really into it for whatever reason. I was like, Korean is my life. And I purchased no, but the first 3 levels of Talk to Me in Korean. Like, I learned how to read Hangul. I was like, all in, baby, okay? Like, I was in it. So, like, at that time, I was really into it and I was doing really well. I was picking up on things really, really easily and quickly. And it got to the point where I felt confident enough in my Korean abilities to join a Korean class, an IRL Korean school where I attended for not that long at all. I think it was oh my god, maybe 6 months. I think I was in there for 6 months because I started October 2019 and then Corona happened. So I think we stopped around April of 2020. March to April of 2020. That's when we stopped, and that's when the classes stopped, and that's when I stopped. And I think it was after that, when the pandemic hit, when I was like, oh, okay, nothing matters. So I just stopped learning Korean. So after that, like, even though the pandemic's quote unquote over, I mean, you know, depends on who you ask, I just haven't been able to get back into Korean. And I know I need to, because in case you didn't know, I am married to a Korean, and his family is Korean. His parents are extremely Korean, and their English is not great. So I know that I need to get better at Korean, and I need to sit down and learn it. And late 2021, I decided to attend another Korean class with a one-on-one Korean, tutor. Um, she was actually an acquaintance of my mother-in-law. So, my mother-in-law hooked me up with her, and she was great. Her lessons were expensive. Quite expensive. But they were good. They were really good. They helped me a lot. But again, at that time, I couldn't drive. So my mother-in-law had to drive me to all those lessons, and they were in the evening after work, and it was just it was chaotic, and I couldn't do it. And so I stopped again. And so whatever progress I had built up from that Korean tutor was just gone. And I promised her, I was like, okay, when we meet next time, I'm gonna finish the textbook and workbook that you gave me, so that way when we come back, we can start on something new. I haven't finished it. It's been like a year and a half. Hmm. Okay. Well, like, I don't know. It's just like, Korean's just one of those things for me where it's like, I know it would be so beneficial to me to study the language. And, like, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. But I just don't. Like, what? What? There was even a time in there, I think, like, oh my gosh, I can't even remember now. I think it was like around 2021, summer of 2021, before I started with the Korean tutor. I even took italki lessons with a Korean person, obviously, to learn Korean. And, like, her lessons were okay, but they were just very intense for me, and I felt like I couldn't keep up, so I had to stop. And it was just like, okay, so if you recount my Korean learning journey, it's like, okay, I started with Talk to Me in Korean, which was very helpful, and I have the books actually right here, and I need to, like, get back into studying them, and I just don't. So I got through lesson one, no, level 1 and 2, and a little bit of 3 of Talk to Me in Korean, so I was doing that, and then I was like, okay, cool, we're attending Korean school. So Talk to Me in Korean school for like 6 months. Corona happened anyways. Then italki tutor, and then Korean teacher. So, like, 4 different, like, opportunities that I feel like I have more or less squandered. Because I don't know why, I'm just like, Korean is so hard. It's so hard. And, like, of course it would be so beneficial to me to just, like, learn the language and just, like, just do it. But I just can't. I just refuse. I refuse to do it. Like, when it comes to, like, learning anything, really, and this is, like, the point of the video, is that, like, when it comes to learning or studying anything, there's just, like, a gap for me because I never learned how to study. This is, like, the common story. I'm sure, like, you've heard so many people have this story where, like, you know, they were super bright in elementary school, middle school, early high school, but then, like, as a result of them being super bright, they never needed to study, so they never learned those necessary skills at a young age because they didn't need to. So that was me. I was a relatively bright kid, all throughout my grade school years. In high school, I kind of had to study a little bit, but it wasn't too often, so I could just, like, put my brain cells together and make it work. But that was because, like, I had to, you know? Like, there was, like, something requiring me to study. Like, if I didn't study, I wouldn't get a good grade, and that would impact my GPA. And then graduation. Like, I didn't want that, so I could force myself to study because it was, like, I just had to do it. But now it's like, learning Korean would just be for me. It's just a little me thing. And my brain's just like, not good enough. Not good enough of a reason. Like, why? Like, my brain is actively working against me. It's like, oh, why would we help you? What? I just, like, I seem to lack the self-discipline to make myself sit down and learn the necessary skills to speak Korean properly. And, in addition to Korean, I say also, I'm not studying Korean right now, but, like, I'm currently studying Slovenian actively with a Slovenian tutor one-on-one. And I don't know. So there's, like, many occasions where I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I'm horribly not interested in this at all. But I make myself do it because, like, I just don't want to let her down, I guess. So again, there's, like, a requirement there. Like, a requirement of, like, okay, if I don't do it, then I run the risk of like upsetting her. At least that's how I feel, like upsetting her or letting her down, and I don't want that. So I just like continue to do lessons. And like I don't regret it because my Slovenian has improved quite a bit. I would hope so after taking like 23 lessons with her since like October of last year. So I would hope that they've improved. But again, it's like a requirement thing. With Korean, there's like no real requirement. It's like the only detriment is to myself for like not being able to understand them when they want something from me. Not being able to get my point across to them so they can understand me, or vice versa. Like I don't know I don't know what it is. My brain just like can't like just do things to make me happy. There's always like a barrier that's like, oh, why would we help you? You're not worth helping, It's like that. So that's been annoying. Like, why would you like why are you sabotaging me like this, brain? Come on, I thought we were friends. We're not friends. My brain like harasses me on the daily. On the daily. So, why would my brain help me? Um yeah, so I don't know. It's just really frustrating because like I don't want there to be a requirement for me to like learn something. I want to just do it because like I know it would be good for me. But I don't have the self-discipline to make myself sit down. Or I don't have the self-discipline and the attention span to make myself sit down and like do the thing. You know? And like maybe some would say it's like undiagnosed ADHD. I don't really know if I have ADHD. I think it's just like a half internet brain rot and half like laziness and a little bit of lack of self-respect for myself for just not doing things that would be good for me. Self-sabotage, I guess. I do that a lot. I self-sabotage a lot. So anyways, yeah. So I guess that's what this video is about. Lack of attention span, lack of self-discipline, and just more often than not, putting others before myself. Like, this is another tangent that I'm sure like many people could relate to, which is like, if someone asks you to do something, if you're like me anyways, I mean, I'm sure like other people are not like this, but if you're like me, if someone asks you to do something and you don't want to let them down, you're gonna do the thing for them first. You're gonna prioritize what they want before what you want. So, for example, my mother-in-law, she wants me to call Costco on her behalf because our dishwasher is like messed up or whatever. And like that's on my to-do list. Like I'm doing that tomorrow. But if it was for me and it was my dishwasher, I would like put it off until it was absolutely unbearable. And that's self-sabotage. And like, why do I do that? I don't know. I don't know why I do that. Anyways, yeah, so I don't think my videos particularly help anybody. Maybe it helps the 2 subscribers that I have. They're potentially bots, but whatever. Glad to have you bots around, I guess. But like if it does help anyone watching this, like to make you feel less alone or whatever, like, hey, let me know. I don't think it helps anybody. It's just helping myself to put all these feelings out there. Just out there. I don't know, let me know. So, that's it. That's all I had to say. So, goodbye.